Hi friends, welcome back to Nessa's Nook. You guys all want to see how we can some things. We don't have a lot of tomatoes here, but it's going to be quite a bit of tomatoes. And I have my bowl, but not my biggest bowl. And what Mark's going to do is he's going to go ahead and cut the tops off, cut them in like quarters. And then I have this little chopper right here that I'll be chopping and I'll be throwing them in here. Once this gets full or we get done or whatever, then we'll go ahead and put those. I'm going to make some quarts. I made some pints the other day. And then we'll go ahead and the canner is actually on the stove behind Mark over there. And we'll get those canned up along with those two that I had left over from the other day. So I'll bring you down here and hopefully this will be okay. I have you on my headphones so you can hopefully hear us. I'm not going to keep you here for the whole thing, but so you can kind of like see what we're doing here. And I guess I'll just throw that back in the sink kind of thing. And this chopper works very well. I like petite, nice tomatoes. And my KitchenAid that I love so much does not cut these tomatoes. So, can you cut that ends off those? And it's always best if you put the skin side up. That one too. Oops. So, I mean, it takes a little bit of time. That's why when we get the whole bunch of tomatoes, Mark is always willing to help me because this is such a long process. But what I'll be just doing is he'll just keep, you cut that one off too. Keep cutting these, and I do can mine with the skins on. I don't mind it with the skins on, so it's just less work for me. And this just works very, very well together. I'll show you. I'll pull this off here. And that already is how many tomatoes we got. And go ahead and throw them in the bigger bowl. And we'll just go ahead and continue on, and we'll be back. Okay, so we got all these tomatoes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to start load these up into quart jars. I might have to break out 2 canners to do this. And what you're going to want to do is go up to the 1-inch headspace. You want to pack these as tight as you can, obviously. So everybody that's canned tomatoes knows that you get all that water at the bottom. And this way it should help with debubbling and everything to make sure that you don't have a jar full of just tomato water. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and keep filling these up, and then I'll be back for the next step. Alright, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go ahead and put the lemon juice in my tomatoes here. And I'll be showing you, go ahead and put the 2 teaspoons per jar. Not as much for the pint. But then I'm just going to do a few of these jars like this, and then I'll go ahead and finish. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest. But what I'll be doing while I'm off camera is I'm going to be debubbling all these. The next step will be wiping the rims, putting the lids on, putting the bands on. So I'm going to go ahead and get these couple debubbled here. Get this ready, and I will have to pull out the second canner, which is not a big deal. I don't like doing both canners at the same time, but I do. I don't like to do that because you all know I have a glass stove, and I just don't like to do that. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is finish debubbling this one here, get these other ones done, and I shall be right back. Alright, so all these have been debubbled, so I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning the rims. I'm not going to keep you here while I do every one of these either, but you always want to use a clean rag, and what you're doing is you're feeling for any chips or cracks or anything that would make the lid not seal, and plus of course cleaning off the rim. But the thing is, I don't use vinegar on mine. The only time I ever really use vinegar is if I am doing like some really greasy meat and it was messier. And usually even still I will just go twice around that, two different times with the rag, because I don't like to use the vinegar. I don't know why, but I just don't. It's something that I've never gotten accustomed of doing. And then I've had, I used to put it in my water, but I stopped putting it in my water too. Alright. And then this will be the last one, and let me go get the lids, and we'll get this going. Alright, and down below, you're going to see there's a 10% coupon for my 4 jars. Everything that I have actually canned with the 4 jars, I have had 100% seal rate. So I am really super impressed with their jars, or their lids. And then I still have quite a few of the ones left from the Amish store. Once I'll be done with those, I'll be strictly on the 4 jars. But definitely check down below for the 10% coupon, because saving money is always a good thing. And definitely when you are wanting to not have to reprocess your food. So I got the bands out, and what you're just going to be doing is doing like fingertip tight. Nothing like hard cranking, because that's how you get the bending of your lids, and we don't need to have that happen. There's nothing worse than to spend all your time and effort. I mean, granted, I didn't pay for these tomatoes, but technically, yes, I did, with all the water and all the stuff it takes to grow a garden. But physically, I didn't go out and buy these tomatoes. These are my homegrown tomatoes from my seeds that I grew by hand. A couple of these tomatoes, about 20 of them, because I had 92 tomato plants. 20 of them came from a friend of mine. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go ahead and put this over there in the canner. I'll go get the second canner and get this all started. Alright, so I'm using this as a steam canner, and I don't know for sure if you can see on the top, there is like these green lines and blue lines and stuff like that. And this works kind of like a pressure canner, where you make things go in the green. Once they're in the green, that is when you actually start your time. For this, it will be 45 minutes. And I will be back once these are back actually out of the canner. And we'll show you what these are looking like. Alright, here's the tomatoes. I have 10 quarts and 3 pints. The 2 pints were from the other day. The other pint was from actually today. So I have a few tomatoes in the garden that will be ready probably come Wednesday or so. So we'll be doing this all over again come Wednesday. But I think these are looking really good. Waiting for them to cool off all the rest away. Get those cleaned off and get those into long-term storage. So thank you very, very much for stopping by. I hope you have a very blessed and wonderful day.